Hello everyone, this is Miss Paco. This is the second part of the instructions how to sew a simple shopping bag. In the first part I showed you how to cut out your two fabric pieces and how to iron down on the top for the hem. So now I have pinned together these two fabrics and I want to show you this. You need to fold open the part that we ironed down and pin so. Okay, so we don't need it folded before the sewing. And I just like to pin on the four corners. If you feel unsecure that it's going to be straight, you are welcome to pin once in the middle as well, but it's not that important. So that's the first thing, you pin in the four corners, and then we are going to sew straight line. And here I want to show you and want to make sure you all understand how to sew with 1 centimeter seam allowance. Seam allowance means that part of the fabric that is over the seam line, like here. If I sew, say on this blue line, then this part is the seam allowance. Sömsmån heter det på svenska. And it's really important that you don't sew very close to the edge, like there, because then if the fabric frays, it comes out. So we usually sew with 1 centimeter seam allowance on these simple projects like a bag. And for that, we have HAP on our sewing machine. So I will move the camera a bit to go closer to the machine. I hope you are going to see what I'm doing here. So when I put my fabric under the presser foot, I'm looking at lines. Let me see. Here we have lines on the sewing machine. The very first one has a number 10 on it, and it means 10 millimeter. And then nothing, that's 15 millimeter, and then 20. So 1 centimeter is basically just over the presser foot. So if I put my fabric like that, the top is in line with this line, and this edge is in line with the 10 millimeter, that is 1 centimeter line, and put my presser foot down. When I, sorry, I managed to push down a box with small things. So when I start sewing, the line will be exactly 1 centimeter from the edge. So I take out my first pin because the presser foot is already pushing the fabric down. I will do back stitch. So I start with sewing 4 stitches really slowly, and you see how I'm holding this thread. That helps us avoid tangles, okay? So I start sewing with 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. Press the backstitch button. If you don't remember, this one is the backstitch button, and I check on the screen that it is really on backstitch mode. And now I'm sewing backwards 4 stitches slowly. Okay, I turn off the back stitch, and then I'm going to go and sew all the way to the end. And as you can see, I am holding the edge of the fabric on this line. So basically, you don't need to watch the needle. What you need to watch is this part here. I'm also checking that my fabrics are put together straight. Can you see how this line is still in the same place? So I don't really need to do much. I keep the fabric straight. I just keep my eyes on that line. So now I'm going to show you what to do with corners. There are 2 different ways to do corners. I will show one way here and another way on the next corner. So first, it's quite simple. You go and sew all the way to the end and backstitch. Backstitch 4 stitches, and then sew all the way to the end. I'm sorry, this camera is moving sometimes a little bit. Aha, I see now. When I put my hands on the table, that's when it moves. Okay, so I'm going back 4. This line is ready. I lift my presser foot take out the fabric, cut the thread. You see I have a long tail of thread there, I cut it, and then I go and start the next line. This way you will have back stitch on the corner here, and that actually makes it a little bit stronger. So again I start with, oops, I forgot to hold the thread. 1, 2, 3, 4, go back, and so again all the way to the other end, and on the other corner I will show you another way of turning. Okay, so guys, I can see that the camera is moving when the machine is moving because the camera is actually fastened on the same table. I hope it's still going to be visible. I'm sorry about that. Keeping the edge of the fabric on the 1 centimeter line. Here, can you see how my fabric is not really straight? They are not matching. Probably I cut one a few millimeters small. It doesn't matter. That little is all right. So now I'm coming close to the corner. Actually, I can make a little mark because I want to stop 1 centimeter from this edge. So I'm kind of guessing here. If you want, you can measure. It's about this point where I'm going to stop. Okay. So I try to go slower now, so I can stop at this point. And now I will put the needle down. I'm using the wheel to put the needle down. There is a button here on the machine. Let me see if I can show you. Sorry, it's hard to turn. This button will actually put down the needle, but it's maybe better if you learn how to use the wheel because some other machines might not have this button. So now I put the needle down. The needle is holding the fabric. I leave the presser foot, but the fabric doesn't come out because the needle is holding it. So I'm just turning the fabric and put the presser foot down. And I guess quite right, I am on the 1 centimeter line. Okay, and this way it's a very simple continuous line, so you don't need to do back stitch. So I'm coming to the end now. Remember, what we ironed down needs to be straightened out here. Slow down at the end and go back 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see, hopefully, that my fabric got a bit tangled up here when I went back. Usually, when I go and sew straight again, it straightens out. Let's hope it will be all right. More or less. Press the foot up, cut the fabric, not cut the fabric, cut the thread, and yeah, it's quite okay. Next step is going to be sewing zigzag. For zigzag we are going to use stitch number 5. Number 4 is just as good, but I prefer number 5, it's a bit wider. And the zigzag needs to be on this edge here. So it should never go over the straight line that we sewed. It always needs to be as close to the edge as possible. Zigzag usually goes like the number 5 goes like this, 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches and then back. And when it goes to the end, it should be over the fabric or right next to the fabric, if possible. Okay. So, press the foot down, I start sewing, I go back, and continue sewing. The easiest way to do this if you put the edge of your fabric here on the inside of the presser foot. Normally all these lines on the presser foot are there to help you. So if your machine has the same presser foot, just try to keep the fabric. Put the needle down and turn the fabric. I'm sewing quite quickly here. I would recommend you guys sew a bit slower. I do it so we don't need to watch me sewing so long. I don't think I will have time to edit these videos. Down, press the foot up, and oops, sorry, and the last line. Back. Okay, I think I will finish. Stop here and make a new video about the hemming and the handles because this is getting a bit too long. Alright, good luck everyone, see you soon.